I'm bummed out.
Come on, darling, won't you dance with me? Time is moving on fast and free.
See, Mike Tyson came out early in the fight, trying to close the distance with a lot of speed and trying to affect really, powerful punches as quickly as he could. I think that was his strategy, was to knock Paul out early, because obviously the stamina and everything probably would go to the younger fighter. So, yeah, and then just as we went on, Paul keeps catching him with jabs. It felt like Tyson kept running into his hands. There he slips one there, and then there's one and connected really good with that. Up there it is. Yeah. Knocks him off balance. Man, you hate to see it. You really hate to see it with a guy like Tyson. And it seemed like Tyson was having balance issues all night. I don't know if that was due to his knee or what. But he was still getting in there. I mean, later on in the third, I think the third round, he was hurting pretty bad, but he went back in with some really good head movement later on. But he just keeps running into those fists. Gosh, man. I thought that Tyson wouldn't have such a big issue with Paul's reach. Oh, man. It's another hard combo knocking Tyson off balance. Oh, my goodness. Oof, man. He just keeps running into those fists. I felt like that. I thought that peekaboo style that he was so accustomed to, and he's always accustomed to being the shorter fighter. Now, this was interesting. Even before the bell, Paul is showing some respect. Kind of a little bowing motion. That's really interesting to me. And of course, both fighters showing respect at the end. That's I love to see that. That's the mark of a true champion. Somebody who has some humility, some honor about them. That's beautiful. I'm bummed out. Watched the Tyson Paul fight last night, and I was pulling for Tyson. Everybody I know was pulling for Tyson. I pulled you guys on YouTube, and I want to say like 83% of y'all were rooting for Tyson. So I feel like there's a lot of disappointed people this morning. I don't want to take anything away from Jake Paul. I keep wanting to call him Logan Paul. I don't want to take anything away from him. He's obviously a very skilled and talented boxer. But I feel like the real opponent that defeated Tyson last night was age. He just, I mean, still, don't get it twisted. For an almost 60-year-old man, he's pretty spry. I was very impressed with in the first couple rounds, his explosiveness and his ability to very quickly close the distance and get in. I think his plan was to try to knock Paul out within the first couple rounds. And so you really saw that effort as in the early rounds as it started. He was really trying to get in there quick and close the distance. And my dog. And buddy, you're being a disturbance. I didn't anticipate him. I didn't anticipate Tyson having so much difficulty. It appeared like he was really having difficulty getting around Jake Paul's reach in his jabs. I experience that in the gym when I'm doing kickboxing and stuff. I spar with. I'm fairly short. I'm 5'4". So it's not uncommon to be sparring with a sparring partner who's a lot longer than you, and I always struggle with that. But I'm not Mike Tyson. I thought between his peekaboo boxing style and his just wealth of experience, being almost always the shorter, stockier fighter, that he'd have experience just getting around that longer reach and be able to get in tight and get in close where he can do some damage. He seemed to struggle with that all night. It felt like, now he got in some good shots as well, but it sure felt like he was just kept running into Jake Paul's jabs and his body shots and stuff like that. And it seems like he just couldn't quite get past him to deliver that final knockout blow. Man, Tyson was off balance. His footwork after the first couple rounds, his footwork wasn't really there. The third round, man, he looked he looked tired. He looked beat up. I believe it was the third round where he really came out and he looked like he was hurting. He did try to come back. I mean, to his credit, I mean he's Iron Mike. He came back later on in fourth and fifth rounds, and you saw a lot more head movement. You saw a lot more defense, trying, really a lot of movement, trying to make things happen. So he didn't give up. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, the the goat was conquered. I am reminded of this myth from, I believe it was Norse mythology, where the god Thor, not Chris Hemsworth, but the one that he's based on, he he's challenged to a wrestling match by an old woman, something along those lines. I don't. It's been years since I've seen it, but he's challenged to this wrestling match by an old woman, and he thinks it's going to be easy, but he wrestles and he fights her and he wrestles with her for just an extended amount of time, and he can't get the upper hand. And of course, that the story is supposed to symbolize, the woman symbolizes old age and time. Like that's the one opponent that nobody can defeat, right? So, that's kind of what was going through my mind as I watched Tyson, get taken down by the younger, faster fighter, and man, it's the end of an era. It really is. Part of me kind of wishes that Tyson had just not taken this fight and just retired as the champion. And it seems like fighters especially have a hard time doing that. There's something in them. There's some drive that just makes it so they can't leave it. They can't walk away. And I guess that's the fire that makes you a champion in the first place. That's that burning fire inside of you that just says, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to be a champion. I'm going to be the greatest that there ever was. And found it interesting that Paul, at the very end of the fight, I think even before the last bell, he kind of bowed. He kind of like went like this kind of thing, and bowed to Mike. I don't think of the Paul brothers, those annoying YouTubers. I don't really think of them as being especially respectful people. But I was, that did seem genuine and sincere, and I was rather impressed. I mean, that really is this mark of, in my terms, in my mind, that's the mark of a martial artist. A martial artist is somebody who is not just a brawler, not just a fighter, but also has the character, has the, in Japanese it would be bushido, right? The respect, discipline, honor, all that kind of jazz. So to Logan's credit, he showed that, and but it's, now he's forever going to be the guy that beat up an old man. And it's like, he took that fight, I don't think, and a lot of people have said it, there's really no winning. It's either you're the guy who got knocked out by an old man or you're the guy who beat up an old man. And so I don't know how that's going to affect his legacy moving forward. I think it was a good thing for him to be so respectful at the end. I think that probably showed people he has a little bit of class and a little bit of honor. And so that's good. But I don't know. Man, part of me knew, 27 years old versus 58 years old, part of me knew, it's like, this is going to be an uphill battle for Iron Mike, but there was always hope. And it just didn't happen. So I will always have Mike Tyson in my mind as one of the greatest fighters to ever live in any combat sport. And I don't think Jake Paul or anybody's going to take that away from him. That's his legacy. Yeah, man, it was an exciting fight. It was a heartbreaking fight. I enjoyed it, and I also learned a lot about Jake Paul. I didn't realize that he fought both Nate Diaz and Anderson Silva, and he beat both of them, didn't he? And that's an impressive feat, right then and there. So he's legit. He's the real deal. He's a good fighter. I look forward to seeing what he's going to do in the future. So, give credit where credit's due, right? Anyway, guys, those are my impressions of the fight. Not the result I was hoping for. I was hoping for an upset, but there you go. There it is. I think a lot of us had we got knocked off of our high horse, or what's the word what's the phrase I'm looking for? I think a lot of us got woken up to reality a little bit, you know. Nobody can beat time. Time is the ultimate opponent, you know. So there it is. If you like the video, don't forget to like the video. And by the way, on a personal note, I woke up this morning to 1,000 subscribers. So thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate it. I hope this channel keeps growing, and I just want to keep bringing my excitement and enthusiasm for all things martial arts, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.